In terms of the Congresswoman, look, I encourage her to run. I hope she does run. I understand. I listened to her speech. I understand her slogan is going to be "Change begins with a mustard seed," which I think is interesting. I guess if Governor Pritzker runs, his slogan will be, "You can have a tummy and still be yummy." I don't know. I just think with the Congresswoman, if you scratch the surface, you get more surface. I don't think she has the intellectual firepower to run a campaign or to be president, but I hope she does.
Political commentary delivered the way Gordon Ramsay delivers insults, seasoned, sharp, and totally devastating. Senator John Kennedy just went on live television and completely incinerated AOC's 2028 presidential ambitions, and his Southern wit was dialed up to 11. Let's roll the tape.
Here now with reaction, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. What comes to mind, what comes to the stomach when you think of AOC running for President of the United States of America?
Well, let me address first your question about dark woke. I think the Democrats are trying to appear more manly. Just a thought, but they may want to consider first getting rid of their man purses and their organic broccoli. Dark woke, light woke, mellow yellow woke, it's still woke. And that's the Democrats' problem. If you believe the polls, Jason, most Americans believe that Republicans aren't perfect, but they think the other side's crazy. They think that Democrats, like Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, have chosen to become what my son would call utter nutters. I mean, you think about it, and think about what the Congresswoman stands for. If you're a Democrat in today's Democratic Party, you're not allowed to fire bad employees, to fire bad teachers. You're not allowed to cut wasteful spending. You're not allowed to deport illegal immigrants. You're not allowed to oppose MS-13. You're not allowed to like cops. You're not allowed to prosecute thieves who steal less than $950. You're not allowed to question vaccines. You're not allowed to oppose sex change operations for minors or transgender people in women's bathrooms or playing women's sports. You're not allowed to oppose critical race theory in our schools. You're not allowed to oppose reading porn to grade schoolers. You're not allowed to oppose racial quotas. But you are required to use certain pronouns and to believe that men can breastfeed. Now, I don't think I'm being unfair. This is what Democrats and Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez now believe. And a charitable interpretation for this kind of behavior does not exist. And the American people look at it and they just want to jump out of a moving car. And that's why Democrats are polling right up there with scalp psoriasis. In terms of the Congresswoman, look, I encourage her to run. I hope she does run. I understand. I listened to her speech. I understand her slogan is going to be "Change begins with a mustard seed," which I think is interesting. I guess if Governor Pritzker runs, his slogan will be, "You can have a tummy and still be yummy." I don't know. I just think with the Congresswoman, if you scratch the surface, you get more surface. I don't think she has the intellectual firepower to run a campaign or to be president, but I hope she does.
Yeah, it's interesting with Donald Trump. I don't think the Democrats ever took the time or had the inclination or even the ability or aptitude to understand Donald Trump and his appeal to the American people. I think authenticity wins elections and it wins hearts and minds, and Donald Trump has that top to bottom. It's authentic. And this dark woke is really interesting. You know, Donald Trump took this lane called common sense, and that meant that the Democrats, being anti-Trump, had to go the opposite of everything that is common sense. I mean, that's where I read it. Am I wrong on that?
No, I think Trump beat Harris because Trump represented hope, and Harris represented more hurt. But I do think that what the American people trusted Trump most on was the economy. Inflation. I mean, inflation was man-made, and that man's name was Joe Biden, and it gutted people like a fish. And when moms and dads lie down to sleep at night, Jason and Kent, they're worried about the economy. They're worried about the high prices. That's why we've got to pass the reconciliation bill. That's our plan to deal with lowering these prices.
No, that is the key. It is a team sport, particularly in the House, and it'll be fascinating to see. But that Trump agenda and that one big, beautiful bill, we're counting on you and a whole lot of others to make it happen.
President.
Senator Kennedy, thank you for joining us. You're
Let's
one
break
of our
down
favorites.
this
We do
masterclass
appreciate
in
it.
roasting.
Thank you.
Kennedy wasted zero time mocking the Democrats' new branding strategy, suggesting that if they want to look more manly, maybe they should start by ditching their man purses and organic broccoli. He slammed their rebranding attempts with a classic line: dark woke, light woke, mellow yellow woke, it's still woke. Then Kennedy went down the list of progressive taboos, ticking them off like the rules of a very confusing game show. No firing bad teachers, no stopping petty theft under $950, no supporting cops, and you better believe men can breastfeed or else you're disqualified. By the time he called them utter nutters whose policies make Americans want to jump out of a moving car and compared their polling numbers to scalp psoriasis, it was clear no one is safe when Kennedy gets behind a microphone. Then came the main event. Jason brings up AOC running for president. Kennedy's smile practically said, "Oh, I've been waiting for this." He didn't just dismiss her, he practically begged her to run, not because she's qualified, but because watching her campaign would be better entertainment than the Super Bowl halftime show. Kennedy joked that her campaign slogan would probably be, "Change begins with a mustard seed," something you'd find on a decorative pillow in a vegan cafe. But the knockout punch, when he delivered the savage verdict, "If you scratch the surface, you get more surface." I don't think she has the intellectual firepower to run a campaign or to be president. Translation: a flat, zero-depth platform that would collapse faster than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. If you love politics delivered with this level of unfiltered humor and biting truth, smash that subscribe button right now. We're keeping the pressure on. Senator John Kennedy turned a standard interview into a heavyweight championship of verbal roasting, leaving AOC's presidential fantasy reduced to ashes. What did you think of his brutal takedown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.